Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Jamie. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing there?
Good. It's really early. I'm still having my coffee.
That's fine. That's fine. That's why I say take your time.
No problem.
All right, we can start. So, I guess this is the first time we're actually really talking, huh?
I know. Where are you? I can't see you.
You can't see me. Hang on. There we go.
There you go, Jamie. Yay!
I know. Yay! Hi.
I think the last time I saw you was at convention a few years ago, right? It's been a while.
Yeah. That was already 2 years ago. About.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Yeah. I was really tired then. I was jet lagged so bad.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
When I went to China in 2018, and like the whole week is almost like a dream.
Re-
It was
I
like
get
being
you.
on. I Because I mean the flight was so long. I
Uh
think it was
huh.
like 24 hours, like
Yes.
from where I am to I went to Hong Kong, and then I went to I think it's Shenzhen or
Uh huh.
Wuzhou, like the city that's really close to Hong Kong. Like you cross the border
Oh,
like
the
through
Macau.
no, I think it's in mainland China. I'm pretty sure it's Shenzhen, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't been to China. I've been to Hong Kong.
Okay. So anyway, I was like a zombie by the time I got there. I was so tired. It was unbelievable. It was
I get you.
crazy.
I get
Yeah.
you.
So I can just imagine what the flight over like the other way, like when. So I guess for me, it's like going back in time, going there, and for you, it'd be going forward in time because you
Right.
lose so much sleep. It's not even funny. So yeah,
Right.
you look great. I'm happy to see you.
Oh yeah, you too. And the other thing when I went to the convention is that you know how you go to the room sales and everything, so there's really no time for me to rest because
Yeah.
there are so many things going on.
I know it's for me like I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, like throughout the entire weekend. So it's like run, and then I barely have any time to speak to anyone. So
Oh,
like
oh,
it's
I
much.
get it.
This is much nicer. Like the pressure is not there. Like I'm much calmer. Like this is much better for me.
Oh, I
Yes,
get it. I get it.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. I get it. But yeah, it's nighttime here. I didn't know that you didn't know that I'm here in Asia right now.
No, well, I mean, unfortunately, like no one's allowed to travel, so I don't know where
That's
anyone
right.
is
That's
anymore.
right. That's
It's so
right.
difficult. I mean, I have one of my brother-in-laws is in Europe, and he lives there, and he
Okay, so you
can't
won't get to
come
see
back. So
him.
I don't
Yes.
know, and I don't even know if he's going to be able to come back for the holidays either. So like,
Probably not. I mean,
yeah,
do you really want
families
to
are
risk it? I mean, do you really
no,
want to
absolutely
risk it?
not,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. So I'm happy to be with you today. So we are actually going to be talking about what we released yesterday, but also like I think you're sharing this with your Chinese customers, correct?
Right. Like
Okay, cool.
mostly Filipino Asian customers. Okay.
Yeah. So we never
Yeah.
had a chance to talk to that. We don't talk very often to that customer base. So this is exciting. I can't wait.
Really? Okay, that's
Yes,
good. That's good. You
absolutely.
have a really
Yeah.
big customer base here, actually. You do.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the company is certainly growing. Like we've seen a lot, especially with the pandemic going on. I think people have more time to spend. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I think people
Yes,
have a little bit
yes.
more time to spend on their collections. We're
That's
all stuck
right.
home, so
That's
like
right.
the hobbies, like it's the time to play and everything. So
It's
yeah, I
like
think it's a
a
unique
medicine for
time.
your sanity.
There you go. Absolutely, that's extremely well said. Absolutely.
Yes.
So
So anyway, let's start off with about you. So not everyone
yes.
knows about you. Could you tell
Okay.
us about
Well,
yourself?
I'm Alain Tremblay. I'm the marketing director of Integrity Toys. I also take care of all the packaging artwork, packaging construction. I do a lot of the accessories, not the jewelry, but I do a lot of those special accessories that are included with the product. Like for example, with Gem and the holograms, the guitars,
Oh.
like all the musical instruments,
Mm-mm.
all that kind of stuff. Like some of the luggage. Trying to think. I've been with the company for almost 20 years. So
Wow.
next year I'm going to be celebrating my 20th anniversary. So I've basically been involved in the creation of just about every single doll since I started. So I've also been an integral part in creating some of the brands with Jason Wu and Vaughn Sawyers at first, and then with David,
Right.
Chris, like in the whole design team. And I work really closely with the Newsom family also in all the invoicing, the club stuff, and all of that. I'm basically everywhere.
It
Yeah.
seems like it.
Exactly. I'm a busy boy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
you're
I love it.
everywhere. You're the
Yeah,
guy to call for
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes,
Yeah,
that's me.
yesterday they were saying how you did all the back end of the video.
So that was very interesting, actually. Yeah. So that's why I wasn't online because like we were using new technology that we've never used before. So like
Right.
I've installed the second computer monitor on my computer and like I was switching back and forth between the screens and everything. There's a few. It was a good practice run for the online convention
Yes,
because we're going to be using similar
definitely.
technology. But it was really interesting because I kept switching screens and like things like the software would fall out of sync when I was doing this and things that. But anyway, it's a learning process, you
Yes,
know. Like
yes.
it was interesting.
Yes. Well, you did a wonderful job yesterday. So,
Thank you, thank
yes.
you.
I didn't see
Yeah,
the
it's great.
glitches
I
that you're
mean,
saying.
no, but it was just like like the slides moving a little bit too fast,
Right.
and I had to back up, and it's that kind of
Oh,
little
yes.
annoying thing that
Yes.
that you you're how can I say this? The technology is really great, but it's
Mhm.
changing. All these technologies are changing so fast, like
Yes.
especially since the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes,
Just
yes.
with Zoom alone, I mean, a year ago I didn't even know what Zoom was.
Right, right.
Like and now Zoom is a worldwide phenomenon.
Right.
Everybody uses it.
Yes.
So it's very interesting. There's some great tech out there, very inexpensive, and you can do some really great things with it. Um, but it's again, there's no. We're all so busy that there's really no time to learn anything, and then
Yes.
you have to jump into this almost like knowing instinctively what it should be doing. So it's not easy.
Yes,
But
yes.
we got it done. That's all that matters. I think everybody
You did it.
everybody who attended,
Yes.
yeah,
You did
everybody
it.
everybody who attended was excited, so it was fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good. I didn't see any technical difficulties yesterday and everyone was
Right
happy.
on. That's what we want. Yay.
Yeah. Always what we want. Okay.
Yeah,
So anyway,
exactly.
you can continue what you were saying about yourself and everything. Are you done with
Well,
that?
that's pretty much it. I
Mhm.
mean, like I'm usually the person to go to when there's a lot of questions about like more technical stuff and all of that. So like it's basically what I love. I've been working in the toy industry since 1997.
When
Yeah,
when did Integrity Toys start?
Integrity Toys started in 1996, so it's our 25th
1996.
anniversary this year. So like yeah,
That's right.
when
That's
they
right.
started, yeah, when they started, they were mostly doing playline dolls that were aimed towards the ethnic community, like black dolls, Latino
Mm,
dolls, Asian dolls. That's basically the basis of the company, and those dolls were brought because the other manufacturers weren't really focusing on that segment of the market,
okay.
and or if they were doing it, it was basically like the same white doll being
Right.
molded in
Yes.
darker skin tones, and then like they didn't really have like the real ethnic looking features, and I
Mhm.
think that's always been like the staple of the company. And even up to today, like we try like really hard, like when we'll talk about the products that were released yesterday, but look, we have our first Vietnamese doll. Like
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
think, and she's going to be a good character. Like
Yes.
we're going to build up a good story behind her. So like we're trying to bring as many nationalities as we can
Mhm.
into what we do, and it's really important for us, like diversity, like like to have like LGBT
Right.
characters, to
Mhm.
have like it's. I think the hobby should reflect where we are in this
And
day and
this,
age.
yes, yes,
Absolutely, yeah.
yes. That's the thing about dolls. It reflects what's happening in this generation.
Well, not just so it's really interesting. It's not just this generation. I've done a lot of research on dolls, and you could probably be able to find this on the internet. So you know that there, in Roman times, there's actual fashion dolls that were being made that kind of look like the dolls that we have right now. They were
Really?
made out of wood. Yeah, they were made out of wood
Ah.
or bone carving,
Oh
and they have the
wow.
joints like they're all articulated, and like they're Roman ladies. They don't have hair. Like the
Uh-huh.
head, they look like miniature sculptures that are all like articulated, but they're in
Wow.
museums. So like it's really interesting. And even at that time, they were being used to teach children how they should behave in society. So
Okay.
like obviously like dolls have always reflected throughout the ages
Yes.
what's going on right now in the world.
That's
So
interesting.
it's yeah, very, very, very interesting. Absolutely.
Okay. Wow, I didn't even know that. Is it like
Yeah.
puppeteers or like marionettes or what?
No, they're actual.
The actual
They were
dolls?
given to children. Yeah, they were given to the
Ah.
really rich children, obviously, like
Yes.
Roman emperor and
Yeah.
senators and like whatever, like people that had some money to afford
Mm.
having such things being sculpted. But yeah, if you do some like
Wow.
type like ancient Rome dolls or like some, you'll see there's like
All
they're in
right.
museums. It's actually
All right.
pretty impressive. Yeah,
Okay, okay. I'll look into that. That's interesting.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, the Romans were pretty what do you call that? Advanced actually.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, like even like I think I'm pretty sure there were dolls in China. They like every I think every people on Earth have had
Every
one shape or
civilization.
another.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think that's what integrity does best is to make sure that what we do reflects what's going on either in the fashion world or and but we try to keep it fashionable. We don't want
Yes.
to fall down like the rabbit hole of like being gimmicky and like it, like I think we do a lot to make sure that like the each ethnicity is being represented, like I said, and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but like we want to keep the elements of glamour. We don't want to fall into like anything that's, not good or trashy or like we're very specific. Like we want our product to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's enough bad things going on in the world that we read on the news every
Right.
day that we're trying not to bring that into our dolls. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like we want to keep
Yes.
it's really important for us as a company. Like we want to keep what we do positive as much as possible.
Yes, yes, yes. Is there like, you know how this year you did release, I mean, I think that was last year, the retro future, so that's like the robot kind of
Uh
dolls.
huh.
And as you were saying, you want to reflect positivity and you also want to reflect what's happening and everything and also go out of your comfort zone and see what can I do next, you know? So
Exactly. Yeah.
with that, you did the robot thing. How did the people take it with that? I mean,
Well, I
that's
mean,
pretty.
pretty
That's
well because it's. I mean, it's sold out, solid. I mean,
that's
we did
true.
really, really. Yeah, we did really well with that line. I think it was really the Vanessa was absolutely
Right.
gorgeous. Like the one that we just shipped, like she is absolutely exquisite. We have Mothership Danya that is going to be shipping very soon, I believe.
Yes, that one's the last
Um,
one.
yeah, with the one
The
with the
line.
full like armor plating and everything. She was
Yes.
delayed a little bit because of COVID, unfortunately. Like
Yes.
there's yeah, that it's the COVID has really affected I think
Mhm.
every single company on planet Earth. Like, but the
Yes.
thing is, the problem with the pandemic is that it's gone up in the production chain. So it's not just us; it's like the fabric production,
Everything
the metal,
else.
the this production. So like because we have to deal with like so many um components to what we
Mhm.
do. Like we have the guy that does the roto molding for the heads. We
Yeah.
have the guy that does the bodies. We have the company that manufactures the hair to this, and like we have to be the funnel that
Right.
basically brings all of those
Everything
elements
together
together. Yeah, and then what? China was shut down for almost 3 months at the beginning of the year. That was Chinese
That's
New
right.
Year,
Because of the
and then there was
Wuhan.
that whole portion where like the whole country stopped, and then we stopped. We were shut down for almost 2 months because we couldn't have anybody in the warehouse. I mean, we were all working from home, like we kept designing
Right.
and everything,
Right.
but it was. I mean, we didn't sleep in front of the television for 2 months. Let me just put it that way. Like it was a very stressful 2 months.
Okay.
But like the first part of the year was pretty. Then a lot of the workers didn't return to the factories right away
Right.
after this all ended because a lot of people got sick
Right.
all over China, all over the
Right.
world. So
Right.
and then so a lot of the Chinese workers went back to their villages, didn't come back to the
The
factories right
factories is
away.
to work. Yes.
Exactly. So then we had to find other workers to do the work. So like it's kind of like
Wow.
it screwed up like the entire schedule for the entire year. Like this is why we have microcapsule collections
Microcapsules.
because
Uh,
we,
I'm
yeah,
surprised you're able to take to release a microcapsule considering. I mean, was this already in in the
it's been
schedule?
in the yeah, it's been some of these dolls have been in the works for almost a year.
Wow,
I
okay.
mean, yeah, it's been it's unfortunate, but you know we're kind of like doing our best to navigate and try to deliver what we can when we can. Basically, like we're. I
Yes.
mean, I've seen some companies that have started showing prototypes for the other stuff that I personally collect. Just a week ago, one of our it's not really. I mean, Hot Toys, like the other
Mm,
company that
yes.
does like the expensive, like they've
Right.
started announcing delivery dates of like fall 2022 on their product.
Wow.
So like if you pre-order now, you're going to get the product in almost 2 years.
Yes, yes, yes. I remember Sideshow does that though. Really.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's true.
Hot
Like
Toys.
exactly. So it's almost a miracle that we've still been able to deliver the product
That's
pretty much
right.
within six or
That's
seven
right.
months.
That's right.
You know, and we're waiting until we know that it's about to come out
Before
before
you
we
even
release it.
release it. Actually, I'm surprised. Like
Yeah.
the new line, the microcapsule yesterday, it says it that it's gonna ship out early October.
The two guys are, yes.
Yes.
The two new Monarch guys, they're actually in the warehouse right now. We have them. They came in a few days ago, and we're going to be shipping them to dealers the week of October. Let me look at my calendar. Yeah. So next week, the week of October 5th, they're going
Mhm.
to go to dealers. And then it's going to take a few days before your dealers start getting them, like maybe
Okay.
like a week, and then like
Right.
yeah, but then same thing with the two new phase dolls that we're doing the lottery on.
Yes.
Those will have them, and then I think the other ones will be like at some point early winters, like the Fashion Royalty
Okay.
and the two Meteor dolls. Like those are expected to come in
It says here
like
early
December.
winter.
Yeah, December, January,
December, January.
approximately before Chinese New Year for sure.
Okay. Okay. So whenever it
Yeah.
says early winter, it's January. January to March. January to
No, I mean
February.
winter starts on December
Yeah.
21st. So yeah.
To me, if
There
you
you
want to be
go.
exact, then yeah.
Mm. Actually, you know, as soon as we know that we have like the final date that it's on the container, we're gonna send an email to everyone in the club and a newsletter with the actual real
Okay.
date. You know, like basically, like it's the dolls are in production right now, but it's just
Mhm.
a question of when will they be finished. But we have the convention that's coming up,
That's
and the
right.
factories are still they're still
Working
working
on
on
it.
convention stuff.
Right.
So as soon as convention stuff is finished, then they switch gears and they go back to producing the regular dolls,
Right. Right.
right? So yeah,
Okay.
like yeah, yeah,
All right. Okay. Then maybe we should look at the dolls that we talked about yesterday then.
sure. Do you want me to share my screen or do
Yeah.
you want to?
You can share your screen. It might be easier to talk about them
Um,
if you're pacing.
yes.
If it's in your pace.
Yeah, let me. How am I going to do this? I have these girls here. Which one do you want to start with? Do
Any
you want to
we can talk about meteor dolls first.
Meteor? Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Um, yeah. Mm, okay, let's start with Nadia because I know you sent me a question this morning about the fabric on her dress.
Oh yeah,
Let me
that's
just
right.
so it's actually really interesting. You were asking me, uh, what the inspiration was. So in the 1970s, there was a trend here. I don't know if it was a worldwide trend, but there was a trend that was called the sun, moon, stars trend, where like they would put like the designs of like sun, moons, and star patterns like everywhere, and that trend basically came back in the 1990s, like in early. I know my first apartment, I had like pictures, like those types of like stylized pictures of the sun, the moon, the stars. I had a
Mhm.
shower curtain that had that on. They used to sell like candle holders and all sorts. It was a pretty how can I say this? Like it was a pretty important, or it was very popular. It was everywhere. And
Mhm.
so this is what the dress is inspired by. I'll get there. Give me just a minute. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so let me share my screen. There we go.
Oh,
Okay, can you
there.
see this?
There. Yes,
There
yes.
you go.
There she is.
So I have so I actually this print is inspired by like something else that we saw. I did my own take on it. So like it's very organic. Like there's birds, there's plants,
Right.
and like we also match it. So the boots are made of PU leather, and then
Mm.
it's printed over with the same print. We've adjusted it slightly so that um, the pattern would fit the boots perfectly. So I don't know if you can see, but the sun on her knee is a little bit
Knees. Yes.
smaller than yeah, just so that it's
I
perfectly and it's
noticed
all
that.
laser cut. Yeah, it's all
Okay.
laser cut, so it's very precise. Or underwear, like she also has like an undergarment that matches the same print, and
Okay.
the pattern has a word in Latin on it that says
Right.
time heals all wounds, and
Yes.
everything happens for a reason.
Yes. So is there significance to that? Why did you choose that?
I think we needed that for this year. I
Okay.
think like like I think we all need to be patient with the pandemic,
Right.
and I think like some of us have lost family members, some of us have we've endured like a lot of it, and it's true. Like with patience and everything, I think time really does heal all wounds,
Hmm.
and yeah, everything happens for a reason. I don't know if the pandemic happens for a reason, but in generally in life, like it's a good
Yes.
saying, and I thought it was a very positive one. So I can show you exactly what the print looks like up close if you wish. Hold on, I have it right here. Um, so this is what the print looks like. So you can see more. It's extremely detailed. You can see like all the little
Wow.
birds. You can see like the
Right.
flower pattern and everything. I mean, of course, when we print it on the fabric, it always looks a little bit darker
Right.
than this, but this is the artwork I created.
I didn't
So
even
you can
notice the
see like,
birds till now, till you showed me this.
yeah, you'll see it very well though on the dress
Yeah, when
when
I
the
get
doll
the
actually
dolls.
ships.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, we didn't do the moon and the stars, but like that style, the way the sun is pictured on the in the wheel, that's very typical of that trend that I was
Mm-hmm.
talking to you about, which was actually was really beautiful. I had like a lot of stuff in my house that had those kinds of patterns on it, and I used to love it. I don't know if it's going to make a comeback, but like it's something that Vaughn and I really like.
Mm, yes. It's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and like the whole that whole collection was inspired by the 1970s, like the
Mm-hmm.
disco era. So we wanted Navia to be she's like the bartender of
Mm-hmm.
like the cocktails. So she's in our little storyline that we wrote, like she's the guru of like inventing new cocktails and new drinks, and like she's kind of a party girl and
Right.
everything. And like I said, like she's also like she's our first Vietnamese character. We've never had a Vietnamese character before, so that's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
um, I have a close up of her face here. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna put this on my screen. See if I can make it a little bit larger. Yeah, she's really
Wow.
beautiful. She's
Yes.
very yeah, and I'm really happy with the way the print turned out on the dress.
Right.
Like where
Very
we
nice.
printed it with yeah we printed it with dye sublimation, so it's not
Mm.
screen printed. Like it's really like it's transferred into so the fabric stays supple and everything. Like it's very nice, very exciting.
That is very,
Yeah,
very nice. Wow. So the
yeah.
dress has, how does it put on? Is it from the back?
It's
Is
like a
it on
big
the
giant
back?
coat.
Okay, it's a
If I'm
coat.
not mistaken, it's a big yeah, it's a big coat, and then like it ties in the front, and then you
Okay,
put
and
the
then there's a
belt on
belt.
top of it. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Actually, the promo pic seems like she doesn't have any underwear on. So
She actually does. I know Vaughn was showing like when we did the filming yesterday. Like Vaughn, Vaughn was showing it, and yes, I can guarantee you there's underwear.
somebody pointed it out to me. She's like, "There's no underwear." Like, no, they told it. They told us at
No, no,
the
no.
interview.
There, I guarantee you, there's underwear. Yes, there is.
Okay, so guys, there's underwear.
It's very important. Our girls don't go around showing their what they're
Right.
not supposed to show. Yeah, they're very proper girls.
Okay.
Okay, and this is let's look at the next one. This one is called it's Zuri. Zuri. There we go. So this is
Yeah.
Zuri. Um, I know we got a lot of comments that I read online that we took out like the gap in her teeth that she had the last time
Mhm.
around, but like as we were explaining in the presentation yesterday, like it, we're
It's
changing it up. So like in the future, it's probably going to come back.
yeah.
And one thing also that came up that's not mentioned in the email is that the outfit that she's wearing is actually a one-piece jumpsuit.
Oh, okay. I thought it
So
was
it's not.
not. It's I thought it was two
Yeah,
piece.
me too, unfortunately. But then I didn't realize it's actually like it's a one piece. It's almost like a bodysuit.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah, yeah.
open in the back, and like the top part and the pants are attached together.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, it's different. It's very well. I mean, it's like something. It's based on the disco era, right? And like
Right.
there was a lot of
Right.
that, like really flowing satin clothes
Right.
with a lot of uh, 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 so like bodysuits were very popular. Sometimes this one is more shapely because like Vaughn made it look a little bit more modern. But
Mhm.
like back in the day, like those kinds of bodysuits would have been very loose flowing. Like ladies would walk around and the clothes, like the fashion designer
Mhm.
Halston. Um, so like it's since the line is inspired by that particular era, like I think Vaughn tried to stay as true as possible to the
Mhm.
subject.
Mhm.
So like that's why it's a bit, but we missed it. Unfortunately, it's not mentioned in the emails that went out to the W Club, but it is a jumpsuit. It's one piece.
Okay. Okay. The
Yeah.
the one thing that's always a problem with the clothes that are this color or reds is sometimes they stain the body. I'm guessing this won't. This won't.
Well, no, because like it's like a tomato orange for the bottom part,
Oh,
like
it's
a
an
really vibrant.
orange. Okay.
Well,
Like tomato
I mean, it's
orange
like
type.
a tomato kind of
Okay.
color. It's not like a fire engine,
Red.
like a red, like a fire truck. It's really more like like a orangey type of red. And
Mhm.
the top is bright pink, but it's got like a shimmer to it, like a
Yeah, I saw
almost
that
like a
yesterday. Like a glitter, like a shimmer on
yeah.
the
I don't think
fabric
there's going to
itself.
be any.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
don't think
good.
there's going to be any
That's good.
staining issues. Yeah, like I really plus the doll is dark, so obviously the
That's
staining is not an issue.
yeah.
But like I think it's going to be fine if you put the outfit on a different doll. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that is this girl. Okay. So
Yeah,
let's
she
go.
was well received from the last
Yeah, I'm
release.
really liking like the Meteor line. Like I love where Vaughn is going with it. I think it's
Me
a
too.
lot. Like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Plus the other thing too, the Nadia, we put her on the fashion royalty body instead of putting her
Yeah,
on the
why is that?
well, because we felt like we want to diversify the line. Like not every woman on planet Earth is shaped the same way, obviously. So
Right.
like the Meteor body uses the East 59
Mhm.
breast area, and it uses the lower torso of color infusion slash gem,
Mhm.
and it uses new legs that are kind of molded after fashion royalty so that they can share shoes. But
Yes.
I mean, obviously, the East 59 bust line is bigger than the fashion royalty bust line, and we just wanted like to have a different silhouette, a different figure. So
Okay.
like by incorporating both bodies, it's going to give a chance. Plus, it also makes the line more versatile. So like
Right.
if certain customers were hesitating to purchase Meteor because
Then they won't
the
now
clothes
because
like
of the FR6 is
exactly
more
because like the
versatile.
body is the same. I think that's smart.
Yes.
Um, okay, so the next guy that we did, we can talk about Monarch. Did you like the Monarch line?
The Monarch, it was okay. I like the long-haired one more than the other guy.
Okay, well they're twins,
Yeah.
so
I can't I mean they are twins, but I don't see them as the same face.
but the worst part is I know it's just the way it's painted is so different.
They are.
And
I wouldn't even know that they're twins if they didn't start out like saying, "Oh, they're twins."
yeah,
The
it's
one
actually
thing
really funny. It's really funny, by the way, because Bond really does dress like that. So when he
exactly.
showed, when,
Actually, I remember seeing
well,
him at the convention wearing this outfit.
I know. Well, or one very similar. I know. Yes, and
Right.
we keep. we keep telling him, Vaughn, you made a doll of yourself, and he goes, no, I didn't. Yes,
He
you
did.
did.
He did. I think I
Yeah.
remembered seeing him after the convention, and I was at I think he stayed over for you guys stayed over after the convention the next day, and I was still there, and I guess you were having some kind of like meeting, and he was wearing the exact same clothes. This
I know,
particular
yeah, or
one.
yeah, or very similar. I
Yes,
know, I
yes,
agree.
especially
Yeah,
the hat with the hat and like the coat and everything.
yes. But like, no, they're great. Like the accessories, like I'm really like the little watch. Like I designed the
The
watch face
watch. Yes.
to go like on it, and it's everything is bespoke. Basically, like it's all stuff that we've never done before. Like they're brand new designs. So I don't know if I have the picture. Let me try to see if I can show you. Like the watch is a brand new design actually. Um, might have this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to zoom on it. Let me see if I have a higher resolution version of that picture. Monarch. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I have it right here. There we go. So share my screen. So can you see this?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, see how detailed the tiny watch is? Like
Yes,
it looks like a real watch. It's
it
absolutely
does.
crazy.
Oh
Yeah, and it's
wow.
the factory is actually doing like a lot. Like they're doing amazing work with that kind of stuff now. Like it's just every single time we get product and I open the box and I see like the final production, I'm like, how can they do this? You know, like just
Yeah.
the shoes. Look at how detailed the shoes are.
Yes,
You
the
know, like they're
shoes, the
they're
fabric. I mean, is that the
it's a
that's the
brocade.
yeah. Wow. I'm
Yeah.
speechless.
Yeah,
Actually,
I mean it's not printed. It's a real brocade. Like we Vaughn is
wow.
actually really good at finding fabric. So
Details.
like he goes to China all the time, and it's one of his core competencies is finding fabric for the company. When he goes shopping, like just look at at the scarf. It looks like the
Yes.
scale, and this
Yes.
isn't that scarf. That scarf is not printed. It's a fabric that's woven that way that he found,
Wow.
and it's
Okay,
at the
that's
correct scale and everything. Yeah, no. Vaughn knows what he's doing.
that's
It's
amazing.
that's why. Yeah, he's also going to be with the company for almost 20 years. Like next week, we started at the same time.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Let me look at the other guy. One you say you're in love with.
Yes, that one.
That one. Here's your boyfriend. There you
I,
go.
I I call him Doll. It's so funny when I talk to the dealer. Oh, can I get a doll that's named
Yeah,
Doll?
a Dal. Yeah,
And she's
yeah.
like, who's Doll?
I know. I love that he did the safari jacket also. Like it's funny because I love my GI Joes and my
Right.
vintage action figures, and it's funny because like I know what a safari jacket is because a lot of my old dolls from the 1960s and the
Had these.
1970s, like my
Yes.
they have them, but in beige or like army green or like camouflage or like whatever. But
Yes.
it's really nice to see that style, and it's like a micro suede fabric. It's so gorgeous. Like it feels
Wow.
really luxurious in person.
Uh-huh.
And I also love like the necklace and everything is like so perfectly to scale on the
Right.
doll. Like it's really good. It's really nice.
When I saw
Yeah.
this, I actually thought he looked like you know how in Tarzan the Tarzan became civilized and he was wearing some safari outfit at the end.
Yes, you're
This
right.
this is
Yes,
him. This is him in doll form.
you're right. Now that you say it, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also like a really famous Bollywood actor. I don't know his name, but like when Bond showed him to me, it was like okay, like it's
That's him.
totally this guy. Yeah, like
Okay.
here and here I
Whenever the designers create a doll or a doll mold, is it based on a certain person or
um usually with here's the sorry, let me just show you like look at the watch again here. Like
oh
this one is a
wow,
brand new
this one's
watch
really
also.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, and the bead necklace, like everything in the shoes and yeah,
This watch
it's
looks
very
like
very good.
those antique grandpa watches that are handed down from generation to
Yeah,
generation.
Yeah, we're like like we try to have like as much attention to detail as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So like when we're designing new characters, um, it's usually, of course, like we have to give reference material to our
Right.
sculptor, right?
Right.
We have to. I mean, as good as she is, we can't just tell her, hey, we want you to sculpt a new head that looks kind of, yeah, do a person.
Mm-hmm.
We have to show her exactly what we mean. So usually we'll say like, hey, we like the eyebrows on this person, we like the nose on this person.
Okay.
Like we'll give her like a couple. Most of our sculpts usually like are a melting pot of a few people. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yes.
Or sometimes it's going to be like, hey, we really like this model. Like change, like I mean, obviously we don't
One.
copy a person as is, but usually, hey, can you do something that kind of looks like this
Okay.
person? Like this is the look that we're looking for,
Okay.
and that's
Well,
how they usually come to be.
but how does
Yeah.
how you would have a 1.0 and a 2.0 molds? How would that come to be? Like how I mean, suddenly
Um.
you will change something with the first mold. Why would you change
Uh,
something with the first mold?
well, I think we need to keep it fresh. Obviously, like it's. I think after there's some characters, for example, Agnes. We're
Hmm.
not going to touch Agnes. I think Agnes is.
Perfect as is
We've hit the
for
jackpot
now.
with
Yes.
Agnes. Everybody loves Agnes.
Yes.
You don't mess with Agnes. Like, don't mess with
Perfect.
perfection. Agnes
Right.
is perfect.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and,
She's the
and
queen.
there's other. Yeah, and then there's other dolls where like Eugenia, for example, is also the queen. Eugenia, you don't change Eugenia. Eugenia is really good.
Hmm.
Vanessa also is like that. We tried to we wanted to do Vanessa became Violaine because like again, Vanessa was perfect. She didn't need to be changed. Like we
Okay.
like we try things. Sometimes they don't always work.
Right.
Like and then I think the best quality that we can have when we do something that we're not sure of or something that doesn't work is for
Hmm.
us to be able to adapt and like either dial back, change it again, or like whatever. And we're always open to that. But there's just some characters that like they need a refresh.
Hmm.
Like if we know that they're not that popular and we know we can do better, we'll just come up with like you know we'll update the sculpt. And sometimes also, like for example, the new Colette that we're doing is a very good example. When we released her, like the latest one, not the first Colette, but the Colette 2.0.
Hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, I think we all agreed that the head was a little bit too big.
Hmm.
So like we had it shrunken down a little bit so that the proportion would be better with the body. And then she became the Colette that we
Yeah,
released
right now.
yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That
that's
one's
why she's
gorgeous. That one's she was a winner yesterday. I really love her.
absolutely.
Yes.
So basically when you see like the codes, like so when we go from, I try to model this after computers. So if we go from 1.0 to 2.0,
Mm.
it's a complete change. But if we go from let's say 1 to 1.5, it's usually just an engineering tweak. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Makes
So
sense.
like for example, the Poppy Parker body is right now its
1.5.
number is Poppy Parker 1.5.
Right.
There's no difference with the 1.0 body, but the point 0.5 is just because now it comes apart.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So like the
Yes.
same thing with the male body is it's the first male body, not the monarch, but the
Mhm.
FRM. It's also 1.5 because the difference is that it comes apart and the first one didn't. So it's just an engineering, like the shape of the body hasn't changed at all. We didn't
Mhm.
touch the sculpture, but the engineering inside has changed. So
Okay.
that's why it's called
Makes
1.5. So it's the
sense.
same thing. It's the same thing with the head. So if it's Colette 2.5, it's because we did a small change. We made the head a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like speaking
It's good
of,
to
we'll look
know.
at those girls
Yes. Speaking of Colette and what was the
and
other one?
Carolyn.
Carolyn. There you
Yes.
go. Carolyn Stone.
So here she is. Let me share my screen. She's actually like the photography is really spectacular. The photos are really beautiful.
Yeah, that one's
I'm
really
very very happy.
nice.
Can you see that?
Yes, I can see that.
So like she's got like a really nice sort of like strawberry blonde. Like it's in person, it's not as blonde as her previous incarnations that we
Mhm.
did. Because I know a lot of people have the concern, like why did you make her blonde again? Why did you not like make her with darker hair? We've never seen Carolyn with darker hair. She's kind of like the I'm sure we're gonna do her with darker hair in the future, but
Mm-hmm.
like that sculpt is sort of like the way we imagine her is that she's like an American actress
Yes.
and like she's a natural blonde.
Blonde.
Like
Yes.
I know it's kind of crazy, but it's in our little storyline. That's how we picture her in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm
Okay.
sure in the future we'll have her with darker hair. But it's
Okay.
just like this we wanted her to look natural. I think like the whole vibe of the basic sort of underwear doll. It's
Mm-hmm.
we've seen those black and white ads like in the
Right.
90s and the early
Right.
2000s, and this is really influenced by that era, like where like every the girls look as natural as possible. Like the makeup is not like they're not wearing like heavy makeup,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what Jesse was going after.
Yes. This line really popular, like super popular.
Yeah, trust me. Yesterday when we sent out the email, the our brand new shopping cart started to slow down just with people picking up lottery tickets. And
Wow.
you guys have like a week or 10 days to
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
There was no
No,
rush.
there's no
There was
rush.
absolutely there's no rush. It changes nothing. It's a
Exactly.
lottery. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm flattered that everybody wanted to pick up a lottery ticket, but it's
Uh-huh.
it's not going to give you better chances if you pick up the lottery ticket now or if you pick it up in 10 days or
Oh, well, I mean,
not 10 days, but
speaking of lottery tickets, I mean, you know how if you put in your ticket right before or a few days before, it doesn't really make a difference. I wanted to know
no.
how you actually choose the numbers.
So we basically what we do is that we download the list from the shopping cart.
All
So like
right.
of all, so we use the invoice numbers. So this is
Mm-hmm.
why like if you own more than one membership,
You need
you
to
have to put
check out
each
one by
on
one. That's
yeah,
right.
because if you put all of your like let's say you have three memberships and you put it all on the same invoice,
It's not gonna.
we use the invoice number to conduct a lottery. So like even if it says three on that one invoice, it's going to count as one ticket, and we can't help that. So we use a software that we found online that basically we upload the list of all the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and then we say give us if there's let's say 1,500 numbers on that list,
Mm-hmm.
we then like just say we want 1,000 numbers back,
Okay.
and then we
It will
get
just
so like
generate it.
that it generates it out. So we don't fix them manually.
Okay.
Basically, like we try to keep it as fair as possible, and then those
Yes.
1,000 that we get back is the 1,000 people that we contact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the
Okay.
here's the Colette that we were talking about. There you go.
Yes. I
She
really
really
like
is like
her. I really
yeah,
like
her
her.
proportions are perfect. Yeah, her proportions are perfect now. She looks very exotic. Like she has that. I don't know. Colette is one of always been one of my favorite characters. When we came up with her storyline and everything, I love that like she's from the south of France,
Mm-hmm.
like she's very French, but still a little bit exotic. Um, like and she's got that sort of like mellow, fun, relaxed, like beautiful look about her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Jesse did an exquisite job with her. It's just I
Yes.
think she's going to be a great redress doll. She's gonna have a lot of
That's
potential. I
right.
can't. When we do basic dolls like the close-ups, like my favorite thing is to see when I go like online, even on Facebook and all the doll groups that I'm part of, is to see what people do with the dolls afterwards when they start taking
Oh,
their own pictures.
the things they can do
Yeah,
with their dolls are amazing. The
yeah, it's
collectors.
really
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so and then we did fashion royalty. I can show you that too.
Okay.
Um,
What
go.
makes you decide that this doll is for lottery and this doll would be for dealers and this doll would be an IT exclusive?
So this is a very interesting question. So obviously, as you know, costs of everything out of China have been going up. Like they've been skyrocketing. Like
Mm-hmm.
in the last, when we started Fashion Royalty 20 years ago, we could do a doll that was 40,
Right.
$45. And
Now
now
it's more
we're
expensive.
in, yeah, we're in the that's Corinne.
Hmm.
She's so beautiful.
She is.
So now we're in the like 150, $175 range, and I've seen some of our competitors. It's not just us; it's everything. I think everybody needs to realize that the toy industry, the way it's going, with all the shutdowns, like with Toys R Us America that shut down, um, toys are not as acceptable as they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are not playing with toys. Like the toy industry in general is not an industry
That's right.
that generates the billions of dollars.
Like
I
it
mean,
did
it's still a very,
before.
yeah, don't get me wrong, it's still like a very lucrative industry, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just not the same as what it used to be like in the 1970s, the 1980s, and the 1990s.
Yes.
Obviously, all the edition sizes have gone down, and the smaller the edition sizes, the higher the price goes. And there's also the environment. China has really cracked down on a lot of the chemicals that are being used in the manufacturing of plastic and all of this. So, which is don't get me wrong, it's an amazing thing,
Mm-hmm.
but the new chemicals that we have to use to make sure that the toys are safe are much more expensive than the old chemicals that we used to use.
Okay.
Um, and there's all kinds of testing that needs to happen to make sure that there's no lead in the toys, to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
like they're safe for children. Even though these are adult collectibles, we still need to provide all kinds of paperwork before we can import them to make sure that they're safe and all of that stuff. So
Okay.
like that all goes into the cost, and plus there's marketing costs, there's all kinds of costs that go into manufacturing what we do, and obviously just the cost of living in general is affecting everyone on planet Earth right now.
Right.
Everything is going up. Shipping is going up. Like
Uh-huh.
just putting these dolls on a boat and bringing them from Asia to America,
Mm-hmm.
like there's customs and duties that we have to pay. That is also going up. Everything is going up. So like
Yes.
unfortunately, some of the dolls are coming in so costly. Like the amount of details on them
Mm-hmm.
just has it so that it's not even. It wouldn't be logical for us to give it to our dealers, because if we give it to the dealers, the dolls would have to retail for $200 or $225.
Okay.
So like that's how we decide if we can give it to the dealers or not.
Okay.
Usually
Oh,
when they're
okay.
IT direct, yeah, when they're IT direct, it's because the cost came in so high
Okay.
that if we were to give it to the dealers, for example, the basic dolls, the two lottery dolls that we just did,
Yes.
you saw like we had to increase the price at
$115
$115. Those,
compared to last time
yeah,
it came out.
$99 a year ago. So like if had we given this to the dealers, because I mean it is a business,
Mm-hmm.
like the commerce of dolls is like selling clothing or anything else. The dealers need to have a markup on these dolls. Then basic dolls would have had to retail for 135 or 140. I don't think anyone would have paid that for a pair of underwear. It
Okay.
wouldn't have made any
Yes.
sense. So that's basically, I would say like 95% of why we sell things through IT Direct versus giving it to the
The
dealers.
dealers.
That's where the decision is being taken. The other 5%, honestly, is sometimes if we see that a doll is going to be so popular that it's going to create a frenzy, and we know the dealers won't be able to handle it, we usually try to. I think the lottery system works really well. I
Mm-hmm.
know the lottery system. Not everybody is a big fan of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like it, but as we've seen this summer, when we don't do lotteries, everybody gets really excited and everybody starts jumping, and then our web server starts crashing, and everybody gets
Yes,
frustrated,
yes,
and
yes.
then I mean, big companies. I saw it. Which one? Oh, it's Disney started doing lotteries for their dolls. I saw that yesterday. So Disney now is
Really?
doing their collect. Yes, they
Wait.
copied our models.
Wow, I didn't even
Yeah,
know.
we have to like
Is
that. That's the thing.
maybe it's
Everybody.
the new
Yeah,
designer ones that they're coming out with? Is that what you're
yeah, they
talking about?
are like the new. Like they're based on villain dolls.
Oh yeah, yeah, that
I'm
one.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No
Just
problem. Into
sorry.
that
My phone's
first.
gonna keep ringing. I'm sorry about that.
It's
My
okay.
bad. Yeah. So yeah, basically, we're. I think it's the way that, unfortunately, it's the way of the future. Is like there's very few collectors all aiming for the same product. I think that's true in any one of those like specific fields where products are being collected. And I don't think it would make sense. I know everybody. I read those comments online all the time where everybody's saying, "Well, you don't make enough. Just make more dolls and like make
Yeah,
sure
I
like
read those
why don't you
comments too.
why exactly like why don't they make 5,000 dolls or something, and like everybody's going to be able to have one." You have to understand that this is a business.
Yes.
Um, some of our competitors have gone out of business by producing too much product and having it sit in a warehouse. Then,
Ah.
and at the end, nobody wants it,
Mhm.
but we're stuck with the product and we can't move it. We can't put it on sale because if we put it on sale, we get collectors saying, well, that's not fair. I paid XYZ for my doll and now you're
Yes.
selling it. It's a business. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like
Completely
it's,
understand it.
yeah, it's better for us to have a product that sells out completely and for us to put out a different doll that will also sell out completely than produce too much, have it sit in the warehouse, and then,
Well, talking
I
about
mean,
production numbers,
yeah.
how do you decide what I mean, I know some of them would be only LE 400 and then some of them would be 900. What
Um,
helps you decide which one would be only 400 and which one would be 525 and which one would be like 900 or 1000?
we like to think that we have a magic crystal ball. You know, I know we don't, but like basically, like we try to figure out like if the character is going to be popular. Like for example, the Corinne that we're looking
Yes.
at. It's been a really long time since there's a Corinne that came out.
Yes. That's right.
I think I think we did a
She
1100. I
is
think it's 1100.
1100. Is she 1100? Yes, she is 1100.
Yeah, she's 1100. Yeah, so like plus we look at the style, at the clothing, and then that I think we just we know how many members there are in the club,
Right.
and like we try to take all of these data, and it's like, okay, this is going to be hot, let's do this many. And
Mhm.
then like there's also like some brands that are naturally a little bit slower, like like Meteor, for example, and
Mhm.
Monarch and East 59. They're
Right.
still new brands, they're not as established as Poppy Parker,
Oh yeah, the
FR, and New
FR.
Face.
Yeah.
So like,
Yes.
yeah, so we take that into account. And there's also like we have a lot of experience. Like we know, for example, with Gem and the holograms, like I did an interview for Gem a few weeks ago. We know what the magic number is. We
Mm.
know that if we go above a certain number with Gem, she stops selling
Mhm.
and then she lingers in the shopping cart.
Yes.
And but we know if we hit that number, it's the magic number, and we know this will sell out. The people that truly want that product
We'll get it.
will have it,
Yes.
and that's it. We can move on and make a new one. And so like that's basically what we try to keep in mind. Like I know like every doll collector on the planet thinks that there's millions of doll collectors, but there really isn't. Doll collecting is a niche market. At
It
the end of the
is.
day, doll collecting is very small.
It is.
I mean, it's
It's even
one of the most.
smaller with guy dolls, Monarch.
Yeah,
It's even
absolutely.
smaller.
And I mean, not only that, it's like I mean, yes, doll collecting. I think the statistics is that doll collecting is the second most popular hobby on planet
Hobby.
Earth after stamp collecting, or I don't know if that's still true, but at one point it
Probably
was.
not anymore.
Yeah, but it's still not a hobby where like millions of people do this.
Mhm.
Like there's hardcore doll collectors that will buy a lot of dolls, and then
Mhm.
there's casual doll collectors that will just buy one every once in a while. So
Right.
like we also try to take that into account when we do
Okay.
our numbers. Yeah.
I mean, now that the club members have, I think, increased yearly, probably exponentially. Do you account for that to increase the
Yes.
edition
Ab-
size?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So the other problem too is like we wish we could do more made to order, like the club dolls, for example, like where we produce
Yes.
exactly what we sell
Mhm.
would be in an ideal world, it's what we would do all the time, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, because we're not buying, like for example, like the beautiful fabric that Jesse used to do that gown that we're looking at on the screen right now, if we were like a clothing company like that makes human clothes, we could say, okay, we're gonna make, I don't
Made
know,
to order. Yes.
5,000 of this dress that's going to
Mhm.
be sold at Neiman Marcus, let's say, or it's going to be sold at some big retailer. We'll go to a fabric mill in whatever country, in Italy, in India, in China, and we'll say, we'll buy 10,000 yards of this fabric. But that's not what we're doing. With the edition sizes that we have, we can buy like, 30 yards or 100 yards of fabric to make because the clothes are so tiny.
Yeah.
So that is considered simple yardage. It's not
Mhm.
even considered production yardage, and
Mhm.
that goes away. Like a lot, some of the mills sometimes won't even sell us that, right? So
I
when we
see.
do made to order, we have to buy a couple of yards to make the sample, then
Yes.
show it to you guys. Then we take the order. Then sometimes we'll go back to the fabric mill and say, okay, we've sold 1,500 pieces, we've sold 2,000 pieces, we need X amount of fabric, and then the fabric is not available anymore.
Yeah, what do you do? Oh
So
no.
we have to find a replacement.
Oh
We have to
my.
find like something that kind of looks like the, so
Yes.
like it's very difficult. Sometimes, like we even roll a dice. We take your order and we just buy more fabric than what we need. And then we just, you know, once we have the order, we produce it. And then the leftover fabric, we get rid of it,
Mhm.
to make sure that like production that we'll
Will
have,
be
like
able to
especially if we,
sell
yeah,
and
so
make.
if we know that like the fabric mill is running low on like whatever fabric,
Mhm.
we'll just buy the fabric right away, even though it's a made to excuse me, a made to order. But we can't do this all the time,
Right.
unfortunately. Like there's times where it's just, because I mean, trust me, it would be so much easier if we could just take all of the dolls made to order, like sell them all direct, like the company
Yes.
would be, my God. But then I
Easier.
think it would, yeah, it would affect the resale value of the product on the secondary market also,
Mhm.
because at one point the dolls would be worth nothing.
Yes.
And I think that's also very important for collectors in general.
Mhm.
Um,
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. There's a lot of metrics that we're very mindful of. Like we try to think about like like try to keep a proper balance to keep you as a collector happy, us as a business happy. It's very important. Yeah. Let me share my screen. I'm going to show you Veronique. There you go.
Ah,
So this is the,
yes.
yeah, she was so beautiful. Veronique is my girl. She was, when I first met Jason Wu in 2000, that's the very first head sculpt that he showed me, Veronique 1.0.
Ah.
She's always been my baby. Her and Agnes, they're my favorite two sculpts. And it's, I'm so happy to see her.
You
I
brought
feel
her
like she's back.
back.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like the nice, fresh face paint and everything. Like I
Right.
really, yeah. There's something about that doll. I know, like Jason changed her because he kind of felt that she didn't. When we started releasing Natalia and like Kiori and
She
all of the
didn't
other
fit.
characters, he felt that she didn't look as edgy as the other dolls, I guess.
Yes.
And then he
Yes.
had her resculpted, but I
This
don't know.
one's
I've always, yeah,
she
she's
she
so
has a
pretty.
nicer face. I mean, she looks like a nicer girl. That's what I meant. Like a
And
sweet,
she's, yeah,
like sweeter version than the other one, the
the
ones released.
2.0, yeah,
Yes, than the
yeah.
2.0.
She's
She's
just,
sweeter.
there's like something about her, like she looks like a kitten or something. I can't put my finger on it, but like I've always been partial. Let's look at the close up. I've always been partial to her. Um,
Right. Which one is she?
there you go. Let me share my screen again. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Look at that face.
Veronique.
She's so good. Like her, like
Yes.
everything. Like she's got like that full. The lower part of her face is a little bit fuller. Like she's, I
Mhm.
don't know. It's just a very pretty doll. You know, she's
She
very, very
reminds
pretty.
me of the girl in Clueless, or a friend, or maybe she could be a friend of hers.
Like in my mind, in the storyline, like Veronique was always like she's a good girl, but she's also like very stoic. Like she's very Veronique never does anything wrong type of
Mhm.
thing. Like she's
Mhm.
always very proper and very yeah. When I used to write the story cards, like it came to a point where she's so perfect that like how do you write a story for somebody who's so perfect? So
Right.
yeah.
Story cards. People are missing the story cards.
We're trying. We're trying. Unfortunately, like the story cards, unfortunately went away because like Jason didn't have time to do the beautiful fashion sketches anymore. Because
I
Jason started
see.
working on his fashion line, and then I, as you know, I'm wearing a lot of different hats. So for me to write the story cards and do all of this, like it just became like a lot at one
Lot of
point,
work.
and like yeah, it was. Well, it was just logistically too. Like when the factory was ready to go into production on the dolls, I wasn't ready to give them the
Mhm.
stories. Then it was starting to slow down the process of production,
Oh,
and like it was
see.
just starting like, Alain, you didn't do your story card. Like it was like, okay, I'm out. Like, okay, too complicated. I can't do this
Okay.
anymore.
Okay, I
Yeah,
get it. Okay,
but
we get it
maybe what
now.
maybe they'll come back. I'm not going to say that they're not going to come back because we certainly have been talking about it. We know that
Yes.
people miss them,
Yeah, people
so
miss
like
them.
we're
I know people who are
yeah
really into the stories of each doll. Like I
yeah.
know there are certain websites who they actually put up all these stories that you guys put in. So,
Well, like for like it just makes the product more relatable.
right.
You know, like I
Like
think it's
that's
really important. Like it just makes the product more alive than just,
yes.
hey, here's this pretty doll
Yes. You can
and
connect
she
with
does
it.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
she
this
does nothing.
person. You know this
Yeah,
doll as a
exactly,
person. Okay.
exactly. There
Yes.
you go. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, you're right. You're right.
yeah. So we still have a lot of good stuff coming out before the end of the year. Like we're not done, obviously. Like the convention is going to be our main focus for the next month,
Mhm.
but we have things that are coming up, like the competition doll from last year that was also delayed because of the pandemic.
Mm.
We're about to release that, like probably within the next 10 days. Actually,
Okay,
that's
that's nice.
yeah, she
Okay.
turned out beautiful. Like I can't that one actually. Like Ryan Liang is our winner,
Yes.
and I cannot wait. Like it's such a beautiful doll. Like Vaughn did an amazing job again, like taking what Ryan did and like turning it into a production doll.
Wow.
So like yeah, it looks from what I've seen, it looks very, very, very close to what Ryan did. Like we tried to keep to
The
down to its spirit and everything. Yeah. So like
can't
I can't
wait.
wait to be able
Can't
to
wait
yeah to unveil it.
within the
Yeah.
next 2 weeks.
Hopefully, yeah, I think so. I want to say I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I can't even
Yeah.
remember like if I saw the picture before. Can't remember. You
Well, it's been
probably
so
did.
long.
Yes. I
It was a
can't
year
remember.
ago. Like
Yes.
we ran the poll. I think we announced the winner in December
Oh,
last
see,
year.
it's already out
Yeah,
of my mind, out of sight, out of
I
mind. It's
know.
gone.
Well, this entire year, like 2020, is my God. I think on December 31st, we're all gonna sit in the closet with a glass of champagne and just close the
Exactly.
door and like pretend that
The
2020 never happened.
erase, erase
Yeah,
2020.
exactly.
It's so
Press the
funny.
reset
Yes.
button. Yeah, yeah,
My
exactly.
reset. No 2020 and nothing happened.
I
It
never want to hear that word again.
did
Let's
not
not talk about
happen.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Okay. And then what else? I mean, besides we had the microcapsule, then do we still have the main line coming out this year or no?
So we're gonna have yes. Well, we have the club dolls.
All
We still
right.
have 4 club dolls that we haven't shown. So like
Mhm.
we're expecting those to come in as soon as the factory finishes with convention. Like we're gonna be able to get more samples in and like start showing you guys more stuff. We also have like like the week of Christmas that we do every year.
The
Like the
cyber, yeah,
over
the
like a
Dolly
one. So like
Days.
we're the Dolly Days. There you go.
Yes.
So like I'm starting to plan that. There's just a lot of things in motion. Like there's still a lot of things that, like there's more gem and the holograms. Also, like we're not done with that much. And there's like some special projects that we're trying to work on. Also, like we're trying to. So there's a lot. The year's not over.
Are you still continuing
Absolutely.
the industry doll? The industry line? Are you still continuing that
Yes,
line? You are?
yes. If I am not mistaken, yes, we are. Yes, absolutely. It's not done. It's just like I said, like we had to pick and choose this year because of the pandemic.
Mhm.
Like we had to slow down on like some because obviously we have to focus on our core sellers like Poppy Parker, New
Yes.
Face, and FR. So like do you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
some of the stuff like we have like I think what is it with Gem? I think we've got like 8 or 9 brands now if I'm not mistaken. So
Mhm.
obviously it's a lot of
It
product.
is.
So like yeah, we have to filter through and at one point like make sure that like the core things are being addressed before we can do like the other brands. But yeah, nothing's been canceled. Like
Okay.
it's all yeah, it's all in the sphere. Like basically at one point it all comes gonna come back.
Okay, okay. Because someone asked me and I said, I don't know. I haven't seen any come out this year, so I don't know. That's
Yeah.
why I
Well,
asked.
I mean, like again, like I'm serious. Like that pandemic has really, really, really messed up the
And
whole industry. Yeah, I mean, it's been
I
yeah, we
think
all work from
every
home.
every
Yeah, and
industry, not just the toys, everything, everything.
the fashion industry's been hit
Oh
really,
yeah.
really, really hard.
Yes.
Yeah, you go shopping for clothing in stores, and like, a lot of them have like very little stuff. Like, I mean, I've heard horror stories of like entire production lines that were shut down,
Right.
and you know, there's food. I was reading in the paper yesterday that one of our like instant cake mix brands,
Yes, yes. Which one?
they stopped Dunkinines.
Really?
You know the Dunkin' cakes?
Yeah.
Apparently, like yeah, apparently like there's a shortage of Dunkin' cakes because they couldn't. They're missing
Wow.
some of the ingredients or something. And I read in the paper, it's like because people
Oh,
were complaining that they
it's the
weren't at the grocery store.
ingredients.
Yeah, some
Ah,
yeah. So I'm
that's
sure it's all gonna come
crazy.
back in time.
Yeah,
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 it's all
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
come back, but we just have to be patient, basically.
Well, I
Yeah,
hope they come back. I mean, sometimes if the companies hit too hard, then maybe they can't come back. But I'm
yeah.
hoping.
Like we're gonna cross our fingers. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, yes, yes, yes. So what else are we gonna talk about? Oh, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Iceland,
Oh,
Iceland,
Iceland, yes,
yeah,
very
Iceland.
our little new controversial girl. I know.
Yes.
Yes, I
Let's
read a
talk
lot of
about
comments
her.
about our. Yeah, um, I think it's a love-hate situation with Iceland. I think a lot of
Mhm.
people, I think they were pleasantly surprised at first when we released because she looks so different. Like her sculpting is very, very out there. It's very different than anything we've done before.
Mhm.
Um, like I was saying earlier, like we give stuff to the sculptor and then we try things,
Mhm.
and I think it, she's a girl of her time actually, because if you look at like the models that are on the runways right now, a lot of them have that kind of look with the really chiseled
Yes. You're right.
cheeks and
You're
the
right.
more prominent nose. I think designers in general are looking for girls that have something different. Like beauty is not just one thing. Beauty is a lot of things.
Yes.
And I think actually, you know what? I actually think that once we start releasing more of
Of
Iceland
her.
and rooting her in different hair
Maybe
colors,
changing
painting
her
her
face.
differently
Yes. Your her
and
makeup
everything.
and
I mean,
everything.
I remember when we released a certain girl called Agnes Von Weiss in 2006, everybody threw rocks at us that they
Really?
thought oh my goodness. I was at that convention in 2006 when we gave Agnes away on stage. And I literally had people coming up to me and saying, "How dare you? She looks
Oh
horrible.
my
She looks like a
gosh.
bitch." Like I've heard it all. And look at Agnes now. Like everybody, nobody can get enough of Agnes. She's our number
Right.
one character.
Right.
So
Well,
time will tell.
Iceland
I think
sold out. I mean,
she's
everyone's
gone.
yes, everyone's
Yeah.
looking for her now, and she's very expensive now in the secondary market.
I did. You know what? It's been a very long time. I didn't even have to do a second chance offer lottery on her. We sold out with like everyone that won the lottery pretty much paid. I think I had like a couple that didn't pay, but even then, like she's gone. Like we just don't even have that doll anymore. Like she's gone, gone,
Wow.
gone.
Wow.
So you know, I guess to everyone who didn't like her and changed their minds later, well,
Sorry.
tough. Yeah,
Yes. Sucks to
that's
be
it.
you.
Sucks to be you. Exactly. Thank you.
Sucks
Yeah.
to be you. I mean, the
Yeah. Don't do not doubt integrity toys. There you go. Yeah.
actually people here they call her she has that hungry look. You
Oh,
know,
because oh yeah, she looks. I
yes,
know because
yes.
the cheeks. Yeah, I know.
That's
I
how
know.
she
But I
describe
mean,
they described her. I mean,
I hate to say it, but look at the models on the runways in
right.
Paris. A
Yes,
lot of them
yes.
have that look. I mean, they
Yes.
look like it's like, oh, honey, go eat the sandwich. It's like, oh my God, like you're gonna die. Like you
Yes.
need to eat, but it's just unfortunately it is a reflection of something that the fashion industry has been fighting with for a really
Mhm.
long time. I don't know if it was done intentionally, to be honest with you. Jason's the one that designed her,
Okay.
so like he's the one that gave the. So I'm not going to speak for him, but I mean, she is. I think she's very different kind of beauty. I think she is beautiful, but it's really funny because once collectors started, like we did our own photo shoot, and
Hmm.
then once collectors started getting her and
They
they
started,
redressed her,
yes. She
and
started becoming beautiful for
well,
all.
I mean, because it's funny, like every picture I've seen from different angles of her head, she looks different.
Right.
No
Yes,
matter,
I
like there
remember.
isn't like yeah, the like a 3/4 view, like a profile, like whatever. She always looks different in every single picture.
Hmm.
So it's interesting. Not very many dolls do that. You know, like if you look at Eugenia, Eugenia's beautiful, but it doesn't matter what angle you put her in.
Same.
It's Eugenia.
Yes.
Aislinn, like honestly, like I'm telling you, like once she gets like repainted and she gets released in different skin tones and all of this, I think that girl will surprise you.
Okay. So we are gonna see her
Absolutely.
more of her for
Well,
sure.
she's gonna be yeah. She's I think she's gonna become Jason's new muse.
Mm. Oh, wait. B, it turned off. Oh, wait. There you go. Ken. Okay now? Oh
Headphones.
no.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, my headphones died. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all
Yeah.
right.
Yes. So yeah, so I think Elise was Jason's muse for a while,
For a long
and then I
time.
think now like yeah. So she was basically that's why we used her on a Jason Wu doll because I think that's going to be Jason's
New memes. Okay.
yeah yeah. We also have a few more surprises for the Jason Wu brand, by the way. Like there's some stuff coming out this fall that I'm hint hint hint. I'm not going to say
Hint,
more,
hint.
but you know,
Ah!
yeah
I want to pull more out of you.
yeah no the lips are sealed.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Let's move on
Yeah.
then. Uh, you sure I can't pull a little bit
Nope.
more?
Nope. Let's stick to the script.
What script? No script. There's no script. Okay, let's see. What else am I gonna ask you? Oh, okay. We're gonna talk about how to store the dolls properly because that's
Yeah,
always a big question.
that was a very good question that you emailed me actually. So I did a series of videos on how to maintain your dolls and stuff for the club last spring, and I did talk about that a little bit. So let me just show a product to you. I don't know if it's available in Asia. Um, it's called Armor All. Uh,
Armor all.
Armor All wipes. I'm gonna let me just find a picture online and I'll show you. Um,
Okay.
it's basically a product that you would use. It's a protectant that you would use for your car. You know, when you're cleaning your the vinyl parts of your car.
Yes.
It actually works really really well. They're like little wipes that you can pull out.
Hmm.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna share my screen here. Let's
Okay.
see if you can see that. Can you see this?
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah. So like this stuff has a little bit of an oil inside of it. I think I mean I'm not a chemist, but I think it's mineral oil that's inside, but I'm not 100% sure. But
Okay.
you know like it's one of those little wipes so you can just pull it out and then you can wipe those PU fabrics. So the issue with PU fabric is that it's polyurethane. And what they do is that there's videos on YouTube to show you how those fabrics are made. So like basically it's heat that's involved in making those fabrics. It's two layers. So you have a cotton or like a backing material, sometimes a polyester, and then they put the PU is a liquid, almost like a paint, and they put it on top of it, and then it's put through rollers and it's all heated and melted together, and out comes your fabric.
Okay.
So if heat made the fabric, heat will destroy it,
Right.
unfortunately. So like it starts cracking and it starts peeling. So the most important thing is to keep it hydrated, and the wipes will do that. Like the oil are going to get in and they're going to keep it flexible. The other thing that's really bad with polyurethane is sunlight. So like if you have your collectibles near a window, with light from the sun shining on them, forget it. Like it's, and they're dressed in those kinds of material, for
Mhm.
sure they'll get destroyed, for sure. Like there's no getting out of it. Um, and also time, obviously, like like humidity, heat, sunlight, killer for that kind of material. And the Armor All wipes usually will really help to keep it, depending on you are. But unfortunately, like you said in the email that you sent me, if you live in a hot, humid area, it is what it is. And unfortunately, there isn't, even if we wanted to say, hey, we're going to start using another material that doesn't do that, there is nothing else on the market. That's it.
Right.
It's this or real leather, which we're not going to start using.
Yes.
Like I refuse. Like we're not going to start using real fur. We're not. I mean, feathers is one thing because I mean, obviously, there's humane ways of collecting feathers for
Mhm.
to do arts and craft and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I mean, it's we could have a whole debate about animal cruelty and everything, but I refuse. Like we are not going to start using real leathers. Uh, Plus, it would be too thick. Like for the scale for the dolls that we make, real
Mhm.
leather just wouldn't work. Plus, there's
Too hard.
all the
It's
yeah,
too
all the
hard to
special
make.
like yeah, like PU, you can get like iridescence, like you can get
Yes.
all sorts of like textures and everything that are like miniature and everything to do what we do. So we don't really have a choice.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so I would say keep it away from the sun. If you have like those light bulbs in your house that are shaped like coils, like those neon
Yes.
light bulbs, not the LED ones, but the neon light bulbs also are really, really, really bad because they have they emit
Okay.
UV rays. They're
Okay.
bad for you, first of all. They will discolor everything you have in your house. If you have those light bulbs in your house, I know they're supposed to save electricity. Get rid of them. Honestly, like get rid of them now. Like they're really bad for you. They're bad for everything you own. Just replace everything with LED and you'll be fine.
Mhm.
Yeah. The other thing too, if you have like, especially like me, like I did the switch about 2 years ago, but I have a lot of older IKEA cabinets that my collection is displayed in, and I had IKEA doesn't even make them anymore, but like like the little spotlights that have halogen light inside.
No, I don't know it.
They're like little tiny little light bulbs. They're like really small and it's halogen,
Okay.
right? Like it was before LED. Those project a lot of heat
Okay.
also. So if you have those kinds of light bulbs in your cabinet, you should get rid of them and replace them with LED because LED doesn't project any heat,
Mhm.
right? So like that's also going to help prevent discoloration on your dolls and prevent damaging those fabrics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the
Okay.
actual storing of the dolls? Like a plastic, a box, or put it back to its
I
original.
actually like I have you can buy like long clear plastic bags,
Mhm.
right? And you can put the bag like like they have like a Ziploc tie at the end,
Right.
like to shut down the bag, and you can get those like like narrow and long bags, and then you can put the doll in with a couple of silica packs, like those little
Mhm.
bead packs that we
Mhm.
put, and just put your doll in and put the bead packs in. It's going to control the humidity inside the bag, and then your doll will be perfectly protected.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to do it, you know? Or just
Okay.
keep her in the box. That's why it's my specialty, boxes. So like,
Yes.
yeah, here, if you've got the room and you can do it, because I know the boxes take a lot of
They
room.
do. They
Um,
do.
yeah, it's like keep your boxes. Like that's the reason why we make them so that they last a long time. They're very our boxes are some of the sturdiest, like best built boxes on the market because I want you guys to use them to store your products. So
I actually like the older boxes that you released than the newer ones. The
which
one,
one?
like the big ones that are like thicker, like the white ones.
For which brand?
I think that was Royalty. The
Well,
white
the fashion
one.
royalties, they're the same actually. Like the ones that we're doing right
I
now,
think
like they
the ones previously the old ones are laminated or something. It's a bit harder than the
well
paper
they're
ones.
laminated now too. Fashion
Oh, they
royalty.
are. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, they are. Well, the thing is also like I'm trying to be mindful of all the plastic that's being
That's
used
right.
in the packaging and everything. So like
Okay, that's
there's
good.
yeah, I'm always looking at that. Like, like even like the plastic film coating that we put over the boxes, that
Mhm.
was really popular like in the mid 2000s. Like everything was covered in plastic and like special effects and everything. Unfortunately, yes, it's really bad for the environment because that stuff can't be recycled.
That's not
So
not
like when you
biodegradable.
No, because when you throw it in your recycling bin, often like they'll just take it out and it just goes to the garbage because they,
They
so
can't
I
recycle it.
I mean, I recycle them all the time. I don't know what they do with them when they get to the triage center. I have no idea. But
Hmm.
I'm assuming that because of the plastic coating, it
Yeah.
probably no. So, like, yeah, I've been trying not to use that coating as much as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, like the new gem doll that we just released. Like, I know some collectors were complaining that I didn't put a plastic window, but I'm like, yeah, no, like there's no reason. Like, you don't need to have a plastic window. Like, if
Hmm.
you want one, you can go to the store and buy one and put it in. But I'm not gonna put it in all of them.
I've seen
You know?
someone buy those picture frames that are like a window and then they put their dolls in. I think I saw it in one of the groups.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I do that with some of my action figures. Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's a great idea. Like they're called shadow boxes. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw it on one of the groups. She was saying there was a sale in IKEA or something, or the IKEA was probably closing down.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, Jamie, I just saw it. We've been talking for an hour and a half.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Our hour-long talk is like, no, two
Yeah,
hours
exactly.
almost.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay, well, one last question then before
Okay.
we end. Bodies, either the bodies or the furniture FR, which one do you want to tackle?
I think. Oh yeah, you wanted to know about the skin tones, right? Like why?
Yes.
So yeah, we've the skin tones have evolved actually. I know we've stopped using some of the skin tones. So like for example, Latino, we're not using anymore. It's been replaced by sun-kissed.
Ah,
And I
okay.
know some of the, unfortunately, like as much as we try to keep them, again, I was telling you earlier that the chemicals have changed in
Right.
China. So that also impacts the pigments. So like
Okay.
pigments that we were using 20 years ago are not exactly the same pigments that are on the market now. So like we're trying to do
I
like,
get it.
and everything, we're a small company, like we don't have like the computerized like measuring tools and everything to make sure that like everything is measured down, like everything is done by eye. It's very artisanal, right?
Oh
So like
wow.
I visited the factory where like our plastic injection is done, and
Mhm.
it's like literally like 2 scoops of this, 1 scoop of that, and then you make a mix. And so like it's pretty
Wow.
precise,
It's
but
like
it's
experimenting. It's like,
well, I mean, every single batch of plastic is always a tiny little bit different, so sometimes,
okay, so that's
you take
when
like
you get problems with uneven skin tones and everything.
exactly, all the,
Okay.
yeah, there you go.
Okay. That's your
Yeah.
big problem. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. But everything is done by eye. It's always like, someone trying to
Okay.
match, okay, like this batch of plastic with this batch, and like, okay, good enough. And then we see it and we're like, no, it's not good enough. And then we have them redo it. And
Oh
yeah.
wow. Oh wow,
And
that's
then you want, yeah,
tedious.
yeah, it is. I mean, it's art, right? Like it's an
Mm.
art form. So
Because
yeah.
I have members that I talk to that who have really old FR dolls and really old IT dolls that are they can't find not even a perfect, not close to match to some of their heads because they want to change the bodies from the old bodies,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
wondering like if you can do something about it
I
or
mean,
what.
in 20 years that I've been working for the company, try to do the math. I've worked on about, between all of our brands, I've worked on close to 2,000 different dolls.
A lot.
Um, and each of those dolls obviously have a different batch of plastic.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So,
Yes.
and plus different workers at the factories that have matched that plastic. Some people, like you retrain workers all the time. What can I tell you? Like some are very good at this. Some of them
Yes.
are, again, it's like a painter mixing paints. It's no two people that are doing this work see the colors the same
Same
way.
way. Yes.
Like there's color perception also. Like something that is a match for one person is not a match for another person
Hmm.
that sees better. We're also dealing with that.
Yes.
It's not a robot doing it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so I'm
Mean
unfortunately I
we
don't have
didn't
an
know
answer.
that. I mean, we didn't
Yeah.
know that. For we have very particular collectors who really like look at the colors of the
Oh yeah.
they're very particular. Even like the eye makeup and everything. Like, oh, this one has looks different from this one, and for me, they look the same, but for that
I know.
particular.
It's so bad, honestly. You know what I had to do a month ago? I bought myself a microscope.
Oh
I'm not
wow.
I'm not joking because Veronique and I, my girlfriend Veronique, we take care of the replacement parts here in
Right.
Montreal, and some of the returns that we've been getting, some of the complaints we're getting, I'm not even seeing it. Like I get the doll back and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see what the
I
person is
know
saying.
what you mean.
And I bought a microscope so that I could look at it,
So
with
has
the
that helped?
microscope. But it does, but I'm at a point where, okay, well, if I need a microscope to see that problem, it's not a problem. I'm sorry, but like these dolls are not, you're not going to photograph the doll with a microscope when you're taking a
Mm-hmm.
picture of it. And honestly, like it's been a problem because like sometimes I just take the head and I return it to customers. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, there's nothing wrong with your doll. Like
Okay.
if
So
if
it
I
has
can,
happened that you have returned the return.
of course. I mean, I
Okay.
have to because like sometimes it's kind of like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. If I can't see it with my naked eye and I've been doing this for 20 years, trust me, there's nothing wrong with your doll.
Okay.
But like there's also like a thing where like one person will post in a forum somewhere that their doll is defective, and it kind of creates a panic where like everybody starts looking at their doll, and of course if you're looking you will find something.
Oh,
Like if you
yeah.
want to find a flaw with something, trust me, you will find a flaw. Nothing is perfect, everything is made by hand, right? So I mean, yes, I won't deny that there has been real defects and
Mhm.
scratches and you name it, the stuff that
Yes.
I've replaced. But at one point, you kind of like, hey, come on, give me a break here. It's like if there's a hair out of place, it's hair. Hair moves, like live with it.
I
Yeah.
mean, some people are just neurotic like that. Like I remember with one person, like she would ask me to look at the hairline of each doll and be like, "Okay, find me the perfect one." And I'm like, "I
I
can't."
mean, I can tell you a story. So I used to collect that other fashion doll in the 90s, right? And I had a friend of mine that I don't talk to anymore would go to Toys R Us
Mm.
and look at 20 dolls on the
Oh
shelf
my
at
goodness.
Toys R Us, would go through every single one of them to pick the best. And once he had the best in his shopping cart, he would take his fingers and dent the window on all the others so that no other collector would have a better doll than him.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not joking. So yes,
He's so
I'm
bad.
very
That's so
aware.
bad.
It's horrible,
Oh
horrible. Yeah,
my.
because remember like back in the 90s and the early 2000s, having a mint and box doll and
Yes.
perfect packaging was
That's a
insanely
thing.
important.
Yes.
It was a thing. Like the packaging was
Yes.
more important than the doll.
Right.
So like yeah, so you would dent all the windows
Oh
so that make
my.
sure that anyone who bought the doll at that store wouldn't have. And at one point they caught him and they told him he couldn't shop there anymore.
Yeah, because then
And I was like,
the toy store won't be able to sell to the other
no,
collectors.
exactly. Yeah. And they caught
Oh,
him. They caught him doing it and they kicked him out.
that's
So,
crazy.
yeah. So, it is what it is. But like I've heard those kinds of stories like so many times and it makes me so mad every single, but I mean, I get it. We're passionate about the hobby. We like certain things,
Right.
like I totally get it. Trust me. Like, but it is frustrating when you're on the other side of the fence where I am and I'm
Yes.
getting
You're the
this and I'm,
one getting.
yeah, it's like, come on, But Integrity Toys, I try to be as fair as possible, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
I do replace when we get replacements, trust me. Like, I'm very like, okay, yes, I will switch whatever. Like I
Hmm.
want you guys to be happy. Like it's really, really important for me.
Hmm.
But I mean, we do have a few collectors that have been exaggerating. Let me just put it this way. And like,
Hmm.
yeah. But eventually those people go away. Like eventually I think it self resolves at some point, like there's only so many times that you can return something to a company and eventually,
Okay.
you know,
Are you
but yeah.
planning to have? I mean, do you guys have anything in the development of like new bodies coming out or no?
Not at
Or
the moment. It's very difficult just to get samples to begin with. So, like, I have new accessories that I've worked on that we're going to be releasing in the next year that you'll see for Poppy and for a few things.
okay.
Like, there's a few brand new like pieces that I've worked on.
Wow.
But as far as new bodies, I think we're good right now. Yeah.
Okay. So there's gonna be new accessories. That's it.
Oh
I
yeah, for
mean,
sure.
when are you gonna bring back shoe packs? Because people are asking.
Oh, Jamie, you know better than that to ask me those questions. You're gonna have to wait and see. Come on.
Shut up! Come on! We're at the end of this conversation. I
Yeah.
mean, you might as well just give it to me, and
Oh no, 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 no. You wait and see, lady.
Oh. All right. I mean, we've gone through everything on my list. My list is
Yay!
done.
There
Yay!
you go.
Wow, this is so wow. I didn't even see the it's
The
10:30.
yeah, I know. Yeah,
Right. Okay. Wow. Thank you so much for you
that was
doing
my pleasure.
this. Yes, it was nice talking to you.
Oh, my pleasure. So have a good one. I hope it's gonna help answer all the questions of your fans.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and
Yeah.
trust me, there's more coming. We keep on going. All
Right.
right?
So since I'm gonna this is pre-recorded and I'm gonna put this live if not tonight tomorrow our time.
Okay.
If ever they have questions after this, I'll just email them to you.
Sure. Yeah, my pleasure. I will.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'll answer you.
Yes,
Okay, have a
yes.
good one.
Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.